Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Griefdrums, and today we're taking a look at all of the upcoming changes as part of Year 6 for Rainbow Six Siege. So we've not long had the reveal, and as part of it, they gave us the full rundown for Year 6 for what's going to be coming up, and there is a lot of things to get through here, so I'm not going to take my time with this. We're going to jump straight in, and we're going to go through everything we know about the upcoming year. Now, as far as Siege going forward in the future, there were some mentions that the test server, they're going to be changing the way they utilize it. There's going to be a lot more massive changes on the test server that are potentially going to be on there up to 2 seasons early. Normally we get stuff added onto it and we sort of play it for a couple of weeks and then it just comes straight out onto live build with maybe a couple of minor tweaks. I mean, Malusi's gadget being the area of effect was reduced, but that's about it. We don't really see massive changes. Presumably this is going to give them a lot more time. By releasing stuff up to 2 seasons early, it's going to take away a lot of the mystery and intrigue surrounding seasons because we're kind of going to know what's coming up. But at the same time, that's the point of the test server. It's to try stuff, it is to give good feedback. So I'm keen to see this. They did mention it was going to cover things like core gameplay changes, with one of the main changes being the amount of downtime there is for dead players, or during the prep phase, during the planning phase, and all these different phases of the game. And the direction moving forward for Siege is that they want a lot less downtime in between you playing. They don't want it to just be a case of, you sitting there in lobbies for ages, and then you get in, you don't bother droning because you want to keep it alive for the actual main game. And then as soon as you're dead, you don't really do anything either. So all of these sort of mechanics are going to be changing. The biggest one to come out of this is more activities after death. So you're going to be able to continue droning after you die with your own drones. Now, presumably they have to already be deployed. You're going to have to already have them in the map and usable. But even if you're dead, you're still going to be able to move your drone around and provide intel to your team rather than just sitting there on maybe the 1 or 2 flank drones that are out. This is also going to extend through the defenders and other sorts of gadgets such as Maestro. Now, Maestro is still going to be able to use his turret after he is dead. Yes, you heard that right. When Maestro is dead, his turret, he will still be able to use it. The same is going to apply to people like Echo. These operators are going to get a huge buff. They really are. One of the other major changes that's going to be coming is going to be the attacker repick. This is going to change the entire way that attack is played. A lot of the chess that you play in your mind, like with the mind games before the game even starts, of thinking, well, they're probably going to take this operator, which means we don't need to take this one, and we do need to take bandits and thatchers and all that kind of stuff. Well, now a lot of that is going to be removed, and instead you're going to be given the option as an attacker to change your operator during the prep phase. So during the droning phase, once you've sent the drone in, figured out who they've got, if they don't have any electricity or wall denial, then you don't need to bring certain operators and you can repick onto a different character. This is mind-blowing to me. When they first announced it, I couldn't believe it. I thought it's a really, really cool decision, but it's also a really strange one. It's going to completely change the way that the game is played. It really is. There's going to be a lot less guesswork involved, and it's going to be a lot more of an intel game during the prep phase, rather than just driving your drone back to yourself. Other changes that are coming are going to be speed versus armor. At the minute, if you take a 3-speed 1 armor or a 1-speed 3 armor, the only thing that really changes to you as a player is the actual speed that you move around the map. It's very rare that you win a gunfight and think that's because I had more armor. That's because I was a 3 armor that I won that gunfight. It doesn't really happen. So in order to make this more visible and make more sense to the people that are playing the game, they're going to be changing it from speed versus armor to speed versus health. So in the future, a 3-speed 1 armor is going to have 100 HP, a 2-speed 2 armor is going to have 120 HP, and a 1-speed 3 armor is going to have 140 HP. So you are going to physically be able to see on the screen that you have more HP and more health subsequently. This seems to be a really nice quality of life change, and I'm quite keen to see how this works out actually. Now, during the reveal, we did get to look at a few of the upcoming operator changes that aren't quite ready yet, but they're things that are being worked on that we are going to see over the coming year. One of them is going to be Goyo. With the utility meta being as bad as it was, forcing 20-second meta, it definitely prompted the devs to take a look at quite a few different things. So Goyo is changing. Instead of the red barrel being on the Goyo shields, he's going to lose both of his shields, and he's going to be able to place that canister in different areas. Now, this is a suggestion I've seen on several occasions where people saying, why don't you just have the canister? You can place it next to doors or, you know, halfway down a corridor. It looks like it's going to be armored from one side and open on the other. This is just a work in progress and a prototype that they were showcasing, but being able to hide these round corners with a line of sight onto that, holding just like a soft angle towards the door, is going to be really interesting. Other changes were going to be things like Melusi. Melusi's been a bone of contention for a lot of people for a long period of time now. Since her release, I've seen so many people criticizing and complaining about Melusi's gadget. So they're going to be changing this to, they worded it like a flower. Basically, as you go into the range and the radius of this gadget, the Banshee is going to start to open up like a flower, exposing the center section so you can just shoot it out. Now, I kind of feel like this is going to make her almost redundant. It's going to make her really bad. I may be wrong in saying that. It may just be a case of, you know, you can still play around it because obviously they're going to have to potentially turn or focus on the gadget to shoot it out, which gives you a small window of opportunity to jump out and shoot them. You're still going to get audio cues from it. You know, there is still going to be a place for it, but she's definitely going to fall from grace. She's going to be nowhere near as powerful as she currently is. Now, I appreciate I've been going on for a little while now, and we're not even halfway through all of this, so I'm going to try and be as quick as I can to get the rest of this information out. The devs also did mention that Mirror, Maestro, Finker, and Fuse were all potentially going to be changed as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes of that, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Other smaller changes, but nice quality of life changes, are things such as the mix and matching of elites. If you have an elite dance or something, you know, the sort of little end screen, you're going to be able to utilize that with any of the skins that are available that you already own, obviously. You're going to be able to mix and match parts of the operator as well. This is something that I remember Macy J asking back at the Paris Majors years ago, whether you could, you know, take parts of the elite and use it with other skins. So it's good to see this finally come into the game. Next up today, I wanted to take a look at the rework of the ranking system. The devs mentioned that they're going to be taking a look at this. They've been looking at matchmaking, smurfing, things like that, and they're looking at reworking the entire ranking system. Unfortunately, there wasn't a massive amount of information other than the fact that they said that we are aware there are issues and they are looking at it. So expect something for that for this year. Other things to expect are going to be the removal of the year pass. Now, if you know about the year pass, you pay for it at the beginning of the year. You get all of the operators 7 days early. You get all the little extra things like there's an extra uniform for the operators if you own the season pass. Or the year pass, sorry. But that is going to be disappearing. Instead, the operators are going to be available if you buy the battle pass. I think it's just in an effort to clean things up so there's not like loads of different places and different things you have to get. You know, at the minute, you buy yourself the year pass and then you still have to buy battle passes to get access to that. It's just kind of convoluted and a little bit messy. So they're tidying this up and putting pretty much everything into the battle passes. If you want access to the new ops early, you're going to have to get the battle passes. Now, in the long run, this may be a little bit more expensive the more I think about it, because you're going to be buying each battle pass individually. Although, I'll be honest, that is just a wild statement. I haven't looked at the pricing and I haven't done a comparison of the two, so I may be completely wrong there. But if you have to buy each battle pass individually just to get access to that season's operator, that's 4 things you're potentially going to have to buy, so it'll be interesting to see how that price tallies up, honestly. But with this being Siege's 6th year, there are a lot of changes. There really are. They're adding in a new splash screen. They're giving the game a complete overhaul as far as menus and even a new logo. Everything is being updated and really sort of tidied up right now. On top of that, they've had the player behavior, the sort of rep system working in the background. That's been going on for a couple of seasons now, I believe. We haven't had any visual of it. We haven't been able to physically see it, but that has been working away, figuring out stuff and figuring out information about people. And I think that's going to be coming very, very soon. Now, some of the things they did mention regarding this were really interesting, actually. The reputation system is going to have sanctions. So if you are a horrible player, if you're toxic, if you are, you know, just team killing all the time and doing stuff like that, then you're going to move from a neutral standing further down the list and you're going to start getting sanctions. Now, what this means is you may not be able to get access into ranked games as well as many other different things. Interestingly, though, however, if someone is really, really bad and they move down the reputation list, they do have the opportunity to work back up so they can get back into a neutral standing and subsequently up into a good standing where you actually start getting rewards. This obviously works the other way as well. Once you're in good standing, if you do continual toxic activities, you are then going to move back down to neutral. And it's going to be like a sliding scale. So if you are in good standing, you're going to want to stay there for the rewards. But until we get a proper picture of this and actually start getting it into the game to see what it is and how it works, that's about all the information we've got right now. But it certainly looks interesting, and it's a step in the right direction towards stamping out a lot of the toxic activity that we do see. Speaking of toxic activity, one of the biggest and probably the best changes for me in this entire thing is the stream sniping. There is going to be a stream sniping mode that is being added to Siege that's about 4 years too late, but nevertheless, it's finally here. It's going to be hiding names, regions, ping. It's going to hide other people on your team if you want it to, like everyone else in the game potentially. There's going to be things in there like a hidden matchmaking delay. So if you put this on, you're going to be able to show that you are searching for a game on stream, and people that are trying to queue snipe you are going to have a harder time doing that. You can hide your profile image, your clearance level. It's a lot of quality of life changes that's going to be really, really good for the future of the game potentially. It might see people like Jess Bolden back playing. It might see, Macy being able to just play without the fear of this constantly going on. Is it going to eradicate stream sniping? No, it's not. It's not even close to doing that. Unfortunately, there is going to be occurrences where, you are streaming and someone watches your stream and they manage to just, queue against you, and they're going to be able to use it against you. You're never going to get rid of it, but this will greatly minimize it, and it will certainly help a lot of the bigger streamers. Well, not even bigger streamers. I've seen smaller streamers get stream sniped as well, so it's definitely positive. Now, before we get on to the very final point, this penultimate thing is going to be to do with some of the partnerships that have been formed between Rainbow Six and other games. Now, they've partnered with Resident Evil in order to release the Zofia Resident Evil skin, which looks really, really cool. And there's also a load of new horror Tokyo style skins that are coming in through another partnership. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know who the person is. I've never seen any of their stuff before, but nevertheless, the skins look really, really cool. And I know that people that are into that sort of stuff are going to be mega excited for the partnerships that have been formed. But one of the most interesting ones that I saw was a tiny little sort of teaser that they posted, and it was this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is the Rick and Morty portals that you see. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I really am. I'm terrible for it. But that to me looks like there is a Rick and Morty partnership inside of Siege, which is mind-blowing.
I mean, look at that thing right there. What the hell is that thing? You think you're gonna see that kind of thing at school? Look at it just lumbering around. It doesn't even... It defies all logic, that thing. Yeah, Rick, I get it. We're surrounded by monsters.
Anyway, we haven't got any more info on that, so I'm keen to see what comes of it. Could it be an event, like an in-game event? If so, how on earth is that going to work? What would be really cool is if they did the partnership the other way as well, so that inside of the series, maybe the characters go into the Rainbow Six universe and meet some of the operators. That would be really cool as well. The final thing I wanted to discuss today in this particular video is the replay system. It is now in beta. I've tried playing around with this a little bit so far. Not too impressed, honestly. It's still kind of buggy and a bit of a mess. But it's getting there. It is definitely improving. I am desperate for this to work properly. I really am. The content that will be able to be made would be incredible. I think the opportunities that it presents are really, really good. But I do not envy the devs on this. It seems like a really complex system because it's never quite right, but we are getting ever closer to it. I'm afraid that's going to be it for today's video. I've tried to get through that as quickly as possible. I've literally just skimmed over absolutely everything there. There's a lot of information to come out of this, and I think we're going to get more details about each of them respectively the closer we get to each of their respective releases. On the whole, though, this looks really positive. It looks like an interesting year that we've got coming up, and I am keen to see a lot of these changes implemented. I'd love to know what you guys think, though. Are you keen for this? Do you think this is enough? Are you happy with the amount of stuff that they're adding in? Are you happy with what it is they're adding in and contemplating bringing into the game over the next year? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful in any way, shape or form, please consider doing the like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. It really does help out for the YouTube algorithms. I've also released loads of other videos surrounding this particular season and all the information that I have through the early access playtests and stuff like that. So feel free to check those out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you to it. But until next time, stay reckless and relentless.